Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Chris Seeds, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast for you. I was on vacation last week, so there was no video podcast. And I was also unable to see Jurassic World Rebirth, but I do have tickets to see it later today, after I finish taping this and uploading it to the interwebs. I was unable to postpone it 1 week, which I would normally do, because this weekend I had my tickets for Superman. I went to see James Gunn's new Superman movie, the reboot of the DC cinematic universe, and it was everything that I thought it would be, which is to say that it was very, very good, if flawed. It's not perfect. It's no Superman the movie. But it has been so long since we have seen actual Superman on the big screen that this was an effing delight. Because Zack Snyder fundamentally misunderstood the character of Superman. He was fine for Batman, but it doesn't work for Superman. So this is actually Superman. Like, the heroic, good, kind Superman. Everyone in the cast is great. I have to say, Nicholas Hoult was a surprisingly great Lex Luthor. Also, weirdly hot bald. That was interesting. As everyone has said, I mean, it was all over the internet, like everybody on social media, everybody's raving about Crypto. And yes, Crypto was hilarious and fun. I would think that I would have liked him even more if at any point during the movie he was a real dog. There was one shot that I thought it might have been a real dog with like a CGI'd on cape, but I'm pretty sure it was 100% CGI through the whole movie, which is disappointing because it just doesn't, it's very well animated, but it's still not a real dog that would make you go, "Aw." It's a CGI dog that makes you go, "Aw." But it was great effects. I also have to admit I was not crazy about Ma and Pa Kent. They're sort of played as like almost a joke in a way. It's a little too much humor for Ma and Pa Kent, like a little country bumpkin-y, and that sort of irked me a bit. But Pa Kent does get one really great scene with Clark that is wonderful and so much better than the Kevin Costner version of Pa Kent, where he's like, maybe don't save a bus full of small children and, don't save everybody. So this is a much better version of Pa Kent. There's also, due to plot that I will not spoil, there is an entire section where the movie shifts focus from Superman to other characters, including the other superheroes in the movie. And I was concerned at how much screen time these other superheroes would have versus Superman in a Superman movie. I just wanted a little more Superman in my Superman movie, which is what keeps it from being like amazing and like iconic, because it does shift focus for a little section there. Necessarily so because of the plot, as I mentioned. And I will say that, okay, Nathan Fillion is fine as Guy Gardner. Hawkgirl was weird because she kept doing this screeching thing, which I think he thought was cool, but I found a little bit annoying. But oh my god, Mr. Terrific is terrific. He's really the standout. And I was like, wow, go. But overall, it's great fun. It is the correct Superman, and if you want, I saw it in IMAX 3D, and the 3D is terrific because James Gunn knows how to do 3D. And if you have any interest, see it in 3D because you'll never get to see it again in 3D, sadly. But yeah, go Superman. Superman is back, and this bodes well for this reboot of the DC universe. Hopefully it will continue along this path and actually be good. Fingers crossed. As for games, I continue to play Fitness Boxing 3. This past week I played it basically every single morning before work. And I still enjoy it. It's still a good workout, but I will say that I was like I would like a little more variety. It keeps giving me the same routines because what I'm doing is, because it's subtitled Your Personal Trainer, I've been letting it pick the routines. You can go into the menu and manually say, okay, I want to do this one and then that one and then this one, and set up your own workout. You can save them as your custom favorites and whatever, but I haven't done that because I want the game to tell me what to do, because I don't know better than the game. Like, I don't want to push myself too hard or hurt myself or whatever. I'm like, you tell me what I should be doing and I will do that. Thank you. And I did actually this past week unlock, at the end of the week, I unlocked a new exercise. So I'm looking forward to seeing that join the rotation for a little more variety. At one point, I think it was like a week or so ago, one morning, he was like, hey, I came up with a new routine. Oh, I wanted to say, first of all, actually, I want to mention, I was away on vacation for like 5 days. So I didn't play it for 5 days. And when I came back, he didn't mention that. I know that the game is trying to be like super positive, and it's like, hey, this is the most days you've played in a row. This is the most you've played in one day. You know, that kind of thing. Like, good for you. But I still feel like it needed to be like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. And there's a positive way to do that by saying, like, I haven't seen you in a while. Were you sick? You know, were you away on vacation? Like, what's the deal? Are you okay? Because I didn't play for 5 days. He probably should have said, hey, do you want to like do the shorter workout and kind of ease back into it because you haven't played in a little bit? Instead, he was just doing the normal thing where it's like, how did you sleep? Have you been eating well? And if you say no, he gives you a short workout. If you say I'm fine, he gives you the average workout. And if you say, oh yeah, I slept like a baby, he'll give you he'll suggest the longer workout. You can always pick whatever you want, but he'll change his suggestion based on how you answer the question. But I'm like, if I've not played for 5 days, maybe like you should be suggesting that I ease back into it or something. I'm just saying. But before, he tried to give me, he's like, hey, I came up with this routine. I came up with this program featuring your favorite exercises. And I was like, I don't have time for that. It's too long. I don't have time for that. I'm going to be late to work. So I said no. But this time he happened to do it on a Saturday when I had extra time. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. So I did the full, it was basically like the long workout. It was 3 things. I don't know how he picked my favorites because they're not my favorites. It's just, I guess, what I've played the most that he's given me, because I'm not picking anything, as I've said. But it was a good long workout. I was sweating. It was great. And then at the end, he's like, I was taking off my Joy-Cons because I do actually use the strap, because after the first demo, after I played the demo for one time, I was like, yeah, I got to use the strap with this, because if my hands get sweaty and I punch too hard and it flies out of my hand, it's going to hit the TV, and I don't want to break the TV. So I'm going to use the wrist straps just to be on the safe side. I was taking off the wrist straps, and he was, because I don't like to wear them when I do the final stretching after I'm done. And he was like, hey, do you want to do another routine? I think you've got more in you. Let's just do this real quick, fast-paced thing. And it was like EX speed. And I was like, okay, because he tried proposing that another time last week or week before. And I was just like, no, I'm not feeling it. Because it's short. It's only a couple minutes. But it's not, it is so fast. It is like boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh my God. But it was great. Then I stretched. But it's fun. I'm still enjoying it. And it is a good workout. I kind of wish that it had better hit detection. It's still very like I'm getting perfects all the time. Like once in a blue moon, I'll get an okay. I think I missed once in the whole time. But like, I'll get a couple of okays over, total. But like, because it doesn't know. It's just the motion controls are just like, you're punching. It doesn't know that you're doing a hook or an uppercut. Sometimes I'll do a hook and like halfway through the hook, it registers the punch. And I'm like, I didn't finish yet. Like, shouldn't you wait until I hit and pull back? Can't you detect that? But whatever. So on the one hand, it's a little frustrating because it basically, you're on the honor system that you're punching the correct punches. But it does make it easier, and it does make it register perfects, and it makes you feel better, and it makes it an easier, more fun experience as opposed to like fucking up all the time and not doing the right punches and getting bad scores, which could be kind of disheartening. I will also say that it's like I said, it's very positive. The characters are very positive and supportive. But what's weird is I also experienced something this past week where, like I said, I'm always getting perfects. Once in a while, I'll slip and get an okay if like I lose focus and I'm not really paying attention. I'm thinking about, whoa, I got to do this at work today, and then I'll miss a punch or I'll get an okay. But like they don't ever react to that. But what's weird is that one time during this week, it says like I was doing my routine and I was getting all perfects. Yet he said something along the lines of like, don't worry about missing punches, like just keep going or something, and like don't get hung up on mistakes or whatever. And I was just like, but I wasn't making mistakes. What are you talking about? And I'm like, so that phrase is in the vocabulary of the game and the trainers, yet they don't use it when you've actually missed a punch or gotten an okay. He said it when I was getting all perfects, and I'm like, what? But yeah, it's all very, very positive and supportive. My favorite, I love when he says, "You make my head spin." That cracks me up every time. I don't know why. I can't explain it. But it is fun, and I am sticking with it, so we'll see how long that lasts. I don't know. I have also been pushing the Disney Dreamlight Valley Star Path, trying to finish those duties, and I knew I was close to the end because I was on the final page of rewards, and now I'm very close to the end because I did one, and a new one didn't slot in, and I had an empty spot, and I'm like, oh good, there's only like 5 things left to do. Unfortunately, one of them is collecting memories, which is very hit and miss. So I am going to still have to play this quite a bit over the next couple of weeks in order to finish this. Thankfully, there's no bonus rewards, so I don't have to worry about the more difficult Star Path challenges, though it does mean I don't get a new house. I was enjoying the bonus rewards so that it would end with you getting a new house skin, but whatever. But it was good because I was able to ease back on that slightly because there was a new update to Infinity Nikki. It is Blue Tears season, which I totally was not aware of, and then all of a sudden there it was. All of a sudden the game was like, yep, I'm down today for the server maintenance, and I'll come back. And then when it came back, it was an all new thing, which is annoying because it means there's every single time you try to play, it has to download new resources, and it takes forever before you can actually play the game because it never downloads it in the background. It downloads it as you start playing it. Rude. I mean, the big update will download in the background, but every time you try to play, there's always that little update of extra resources that it needs to fix things or whatever, and it's like, ugh. But it's this weird story. I've been doing the main story quest so far, and it's like this weird thing where like people are crying by the riverside and remembering sad things, and it's all about like letting out your grief, and you're trying to solve this mystery of something that happened in the past with this giant snake and this, I don't know. It's all very confusing, and I sort of only half pay attention to the story because the story tends to not actually make sense most of the time in this game. So I just sort of go with it. But I will maybe try to do the side things to get the free outfit. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The other thing that I have been playing, as I promised in the last episode, or actually the previous one, I think I mentioned it, I bought The Last Campfire for the Nintendo Switch because it was on sale for like $2 and I had points, so I got it for $1.50. And I thought, let's give it a shot. It is a lovely little puzzle game where you walk around and you're exploring this area, like you're on a boat and then you get lost and then you're in this weird place and there's these campfires and the spirits are like go find the forlorn. You are an ember, and you are to go out and find other embers in the world, and you are to free them and bring them back to the campfire where they can be restored to themselves. I'm not sure exactly if it's meant to be like they got lost in themselves and you have to bring them back, or it feels more like a purgatory kind of thing, and you're helping them to. At first, I thought you were helping them to go to the other side, basically. But as it's gone on, I'm like, no, you seem to be rescuing them from being trapped within themselves and whatever their doubt and fear and whatever, and you're like helping wake them back up again. So I don't think it's as grim as it appeared in the beginning. Although, oh, dude, there are some grim moments in this. Like, some of the dialogue and stuff, it's very, like, heavy. And there was this scary bird monster that just was, oof. But the game is lovely, and it is very, like, soothing to walk around. Some of the puzzles are, like, environmental puzzles in the world to help you to open up new areas and to find new forlorn. And then other puzzles are when you touch a forlorn, there's a puzzle, you go into like a puzzle world, like there's a little puzzle area, like the area you're in transforms into like a big giant puzzle, and then you're meant to like figure out the puzzle and get through the area to the flame, and then you bring the flame back to the forlorn and it wakes them back up again. So the thing is that some of the puzzles, crazy easy. Some of the other ones, completely obtuse, and I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, and there's no like progression of like easy puzzles to hard puzzles. Like, literally the first forlorn that I found was like, there was this puzzle with these rolling platform pieces that like I could not figure out how. I knew what I kind of needed to do, but I couldn't figure out how to get the pieces to go there. I was like, what am I not understanding about the game mechanics here? And like, I just was getting so frustrated because I would move the pieces and then I'm like, you can't move them back. So I'd have to like leave and come back in to reset the pieces and try again. And I was getting so frustrated. And it was like, I had to go online and look up, and it was like, oh, if you move this over here, then you can move this here. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then I was fine. Because whenever I play a puzzle game, I only read, if I get really, really stuck and frustrated, I will go look up to see what I was supposed to do. And then it's like, okay. And I just read until I get the light bulb goes on, and I'm like, oh, that's, okay. If that's what I'm supposed to do, that's fine. And I won't read anything else because I don't want to know the details. I want to try to figure out as much of it by myself as possible. But yeah, there have been a few I've had to look up. One was like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was just like trial and error, and nothing was happening. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, can you at least tell me what I'm supposed to be doing? And so I looked it up, and they're like, you're supposed to do this. And I'm like, fine. I don't need to know how to do that. I will figure out how to do that by myself. I just need to know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing with this puzzle. But that first puzzle was like really hard. And I was like, this does not bode well for the rest of the game if this is the first puzzle and it's already like, what am I supposed to do? I don't understand. It's not clear. But then like the next bunch of puzzles were like stupid easy. So I'm like, was I not supposed to do that one first? I was supposed to ease into it? I don't know, because you can explore however you like. So it's not like linear. I mean, it is linear. There's the first area, the second area, and the third area. I'm in the third area. I'm close to the end now. But I wasn't able to finish it because I had stopped playing it. But I did play it a lot when I was traveling. And some at home. But like, I was a little concerned because some of the puzzles were a little obtuse, and I was just like, there was no, it didn't like ease you into it. But so far I've enjoyed it, and it's definitely worth $1.50. I don't know if I'd say, oh, it's worth $15. I mean, yeah, I guess it is. If you like puzzles, it's worth it, because it is a good puzzle game, except for the ones where I'm like, what the hell am I even supposed to be doing? I don't have any idea. So that was a little frustrating. But I feel like I like puzzle games because they make you feel very clever when you figure it out on your own. But I'm not that clever, so I will inevitably have to, look things up and cheat a little bit and be like, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. But I don't read the whole solution. But like like when I'm eagerly awaiting. I've mentioned this a bunch of times in previous episodes. I'm eagerly awaiting the new Professor Layton in the World of Steam, which still doesn't have a release date. Damn it! And I'm like, give me that. And I can't. I know I'm gonna have to look up a bunch of solutions because I'm not gonna. I've always had to do that because that's just how I am with puzzle games. I'm just not that smart. So that's it for this week. Come back next time. I will maybe have finished the Last Campfire, and I will have some thoughts on A Jurassic World, which I'm seeing later today, and whatever I see next weekend, because Fantastic Four is the weekend after that. See you then. Bye!